After the failure of the Sega Dreamcast, it was assumed that Sega would reach its inevitable death. Other than that damn hedgehog,
I hate that hedgehog!
There were barely any true franchises for Sega. If you want to blast me on the comments and talk about Echo the Dolphin or Toe Jam and Earl or other classics like that from the Genesis era, feel free, but you know what I mean. Fast forward to the Nintendo GameCube era, and a very unexpected partnership occurred. Nintendo welcomed Sega in open arms to continue to make good games, and thus, the Super Monkey Ball franchise was born. Super Monkey Ball 2, like many other Sega and Nintendo titles, is very easy to pick up and play. The objective is simple. You play as a monkey, in a ball because why not, and you have to get from point A to point B. This obstacle-based challenge progresses quickly, and although the game is obviously marketed to children due to its cute monkeys and easy controls, the difficulty picks up tremendously. Speaking of controls, you also can't get much more simple than this. You literally just move the control stick and press A to change your map, which you don't really look at that much anyway. If you've never played this game before, you might think this is easy, but trust me, you are wrong. Unless you're a crazy speedrunner and you're just really gifted at this crap, I promise you're gonna have a really tough time. And by the way, check out some speedruns on Super Monkey Ball if you haven't yet on YouTube because they're pretty crazy. Sega put in a crazy amount of detail in this game, and it gets infuriating once you get to the later stages. In Super Monkey Ball 2, there are two main modes, Challenge Mode and Story Mode. They both consist of the same courses. Challenge Mode is an arcade-style mode in which you have only a certain amount of lives, and you need to try to progress as far as possible in order to get the highest score by completing courses quickly and with as many bananas as possible. Story Mode is a bit more laid back because you have an unlimited amount of lives, so I would recommend playing this first so you can warm up to some of these wacky courses. I also recommend Story Mode for one of the deepest and most in-depth storylines since a game like Metal Gear. I think I said earlier that this game was marketed to children, right? Seriously though, if you want a good laugh, you have to watch every cutscene in this game. The dialogue is incredible. The soundtrack, by the way, is awesome, and although I can't really name one Sega game where the soundtrack isn't awesome, they keep it funky, I'm not even kidding. Like, every Sega game is funky. In addition to this fun story, there are also 12 party games for this installment, and some of them are actually pretty fun. In Monkey Baseball, your objective is to literally hit the pitcher. It is an interesting mechanic on how much control you have on every pitch. Monkey Billiards is pretty self-explanatory, but I mainly like it due to the funky music. Monkey Target is probably my favorite party game. You have to fly in the air and land on platforms, but you have to account for the wind, which is randomized every round, so it can get a little bit tricky. Monkey Soccer definitely has its flaws. It doesn't have as tight of a control scheme as FIFA, but it's still pretty fun with its simple controls. It could keep you occupied for like 30 minutes. Monkey Shot was fun at its time, but since the Wii came out and there are all these other options with motion controls, I don't really recommend this one anymore, but it's a fun time, I guess. Although each party game is a blast with friends, Monkey Fight is probably the best one with friends, because you're literally beating the shit out of each other. Did I mention this game was marketed to children? A way you can judge a game that is over a decade old is seeing how it can compare to games today. Super Monkey Ball 2 looks great, sounds great, and above all else, controls great. The level of precision this game requires in order to progress shows that a game like this is still fun to play, even today. You may break a couple of controllers if you want to 100% this game, but every time you die, it's your fault and not the controls. Now that is a key factor when judging whether or not a difficult game is actually a good game. Super Monkey Ball 2, that is a good game.